Hi, Danica. How are you? Welcome to the show. Harold Sanderson. I am interstatal. Lion woman. Wahoo. All right, here we go. Here we go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Angie's Angles, the new, revamped, revised Angie's Angles. It is April the 18th in the year of my Lord, 2024. Mr. McGowan is in the house. We say hi, Mr. McGowan. And just from you, Stephanie, hi. Thanks for joining us. Oh, the Oaks crew repping. We got Tracy, Steph, and Tiana, and Raquel. What's going on? Mike, what's going on? I am Duo Interstatal. So, we're changing our format, peeps. We're going to change up our format. We're going to bring you breaking news. We're going to bring you hot topics that are trending. Elaine Lands, Executive Director of Auxiliary Services at Delphi University. Dave Silberg, yo. Dave's in the house. All right. So these are the following topics we're going to cover tonight. And we're going to cover them ad nauseum. We're going to speak about WBC super lightweight Ryan Garcia's comments. We're going to cover Angel Hernandez, and we're going to dip our stick in the Trevor Bauer story, if you know what I mean. So this is awesome. I got what am I? Almost double digits almost already. So it's fantastic. Hey, Clark, I am on. It might be a little delayed, buddy, but I'm here. West Coast Dave, what's going on? How are you? Thanks for joining us. So let's just get right into our topics. So Tuesday, the WBC super lightweights, Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, were scheduled to throw out the first pitch at Citi Field before the Met Pirate game to advertise their upcoming Saturday night fight. Early in the day, they did a promo shoot at the Empire State Building where an altercation broke out between the fighters, which we all know that's showmanship, right? You want to prop up that there's hatred between the two fighters. Anyway, that happened earlier in the day. Apparently, after the scuffle at the Empire State Building, Ryan Garcia went on X, formerly known as Twitter, and posted a rambling rant stating that he identified as a woman and that Haney committed a sexual assault on him by hitting him. Mark Brooks, my brother from another mother, making me try. No, I am quadruple interstatal with West Coast Dave signing on. I appreciate you guys. He also went on this rambling rant stating that Elon Musk is the Antichrist and that Hollywood and Las Vegas will be destroyed by earthquakes. Ryan Garcia, I got some news for you. Harvey Weinstein ruined Hollywood, and Wayne Newton totally ruined Las Vegas, if you know what I mean. Anyway, the Mets caught wind of the interaction and some of these offensive tweets coming out of Ryan Garcia's mouth. And in the 11th hour, they decided to scrap the first pitch by these two super WBC light heavyweights. Ryan Garcia then proceeded to do a follow-up rant on X, effing and blinding the New York Mets, saying how he's going to expose not only the New York Mets, but Major League Baseball. Whoever booked those two guys, first of all, to throw out the first pitch should be looking for a new job this morning or this evening. You can't do a duo throw the first pitch. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. And before I go any further, Mark Brooks, shout out to Anaya. What's going on? And she just scored a run. Fantastic. Tell Anaya I'm rooting for her. The New York Mets have to do a better job vetting their people that. Hey, Clark, I'm glad you could join us. I am quintuple interstatal. Thank you very much, Clark, dialing it in. So Ryan Garcia, there's some talk about him maybe having some brain damage from boxing, that he's not right in his head, and he's got these rambling rants. Back in the day, P.T. Barnum said bad news is good news as long as you get broadcasted, right? There's no such thing as bad news. So I guess he got his name out there. He got his name on Angie's Angles this evening, and that's been trending a little bit on Twitter and on Facebook. His angst against the New York Mets. See you later, Ryan Garcia. Good luck on Saturday. Our next topic is Angel Hernandez. Angel Hernandez came into the Major League Baseball League in 1991. He's been an umpire, and we could speak, all day about Angel Hernandez's bad umpiring, right? And let's be fair to Angel. There's a lot of bad umpires out there that miss a lot of crap, but for some reason, everything just gravitates to Angel Hernandez. Whether it's strike zone, whether it's calls in the bases, whether it's this or that. Anyway, Angel Hernandez finds himself at the center of controversy yet again. Never mind, he made Jeff McNeil take a erroneous timeout in the beginning of the season against the Detroit Tigers in that series. Jeff McNeil asked him, "I still have time, right?" And, sure, maybe he misunderstood Jeff McNeil's question. So Angel Hernandez right away gave Jeff McNeil his only timeout. But Jeff didn't want to use it at that particular moment. Jeff is like, "Listen, dude, I didn't call timeout. I asked if I had my timeout left." In all fairness to Angel Hernandez, perhaps he needs to not maybe question, and maybe he needs to know whether or not he called his timeout. And this whole timeout thing, one per at bat, is ridiculous. We've talked about this ad nauseum. I'm going to ad lib here a little bit. I'm going to go off script. And I keep talking about the Gibson at bat against Eckersley in a home run. I mean, holy Christmas. You don't get a better at bat. You don't get a better mouse and cat game than that at bat. And that's never, never, never going to happen in the history of Major League Baseball as long as Rob Manfred's at the helm, making these ridiculous rules. Tell him to get in the batter's box. Tell the pitcher to pitch the pitch. It's just not going to happen. We might as well get MLB to show up on the big screen and just let him play it out, animated. Let AI take over. That's right, Clark, West Coast Dave, I agree. Harold, you even chimed in. It's just awful, awful. Clark, we'll get to that in a minute. So Angel Hernandez just in about a couple of weeks has brought major attention to himself. It was a swinging strike in the Houston, Texas game. He called a swinging strike on a very, very blatant non-swing, and the ball hit the batter. Now here's the batter's stance, right? It was I believe it was Wyatt Langford that was the batter. J.P. Prince was pitching for the Astros, and the pitch is coming in, and Wyatt Langford went like this, just like this. He didn't even make it past his chin, and the ball comes in and grazes him on the bat hand. And Angel Hernandez, swing. That's a strike. Now, in Major League Baseball rules, for those that don't know, if you swing at a pitch and it hits you, it's an automatic strike, and it's not reviewable. But go look at the videotape. Seriously, like this. It was just like this, and he stopped it right before. The bat's still behind his shoulder. There was no way he broke the wrist. There was no way the bat came on this side of his face. It was zero. It was so blatant. And he called it a strike, much to the angst of the Texas Ranger manager. So then there's the I'm sorry, it wasn't Langford JP Prince. It was the Detroit Tiger game with the Mets that happened. So I apologize. I had the game wrong. The game I'm talking about between the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers happened, and these were the players involved. And I apologize for getting that wrong initially. Wyatt Langford is hitting. JP Prince is on the mound. He's a righty. 3 balls outside. Outside. Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. You're out, Angel Hernandez. And let me tell you something. Umpire arbiter. Now, I got just turned on to that today. Umpire arbiter's been around rating the umpires. The pitch missed by 6.7 inches being in the strike zone. It is the largest miss in the history of umpire arbiter being around, recording the umpire strike zones. It is by far the most erroneous strike call ever known to mankind, perhaps, in the game of baseball. Yeah, James Krause, Angel Hernandez watched the solar eclipse and missed it, but in all fairness, Angel, and I'm trying to back him up here, so did half the universe. That was a non-event, in my humble opinion. Terry Sanchez, what's going on? How are you? Clark, I am not for the computerized strike zone, but this is getting ridiculous. It really is. And I don't ever want the computerized strike zone. Human error is part and parcel of the game of baseball. 1,000%. I don't want the computer to take over. It just makes the game irrelevant. But a 7.68 pitch out of the strike zone, not on any day can that be called a strike. Not today, not tomorrow, not yesterday. Hey, Darcy Krause is in the house. What's going on? And Jim McGowan's adding that Bob Uecker called it just outside. I hear Bob Uecker's going part-time now. And speaking about part-time, hats off to Sterling leaving the New York Yankees. And we understand that he's got some health issues going on. And we wish him nothing but wellness to John Sterling. So if you play the Vegas line, the next time JP Prince is pitching and when Angel Hernandez is behind the plate, I highly suggest taking the over on the K's because obviously they're buddies or Hernandez is just calling everything coming near the plate a strike. I mean, Jesus Christmas. I don't know how much we could do with that. So Angel Hernandez, and here's the funny thing, right? Umpire arbiter rated that game an 83.9. However, Major League Baseball gave it a 92.3 rating for Angel Hernandez. Now, Major League Baseball's known, they're notorious for jacking up the ratings so they don't have to address the umpires and take action against the bad ones. I mean, a 92.7, you know what? Let's think about that for a minute, right? You're a Major League Baseball umpire. Games are important. You got to do better. You got to do a 95 or better if you're an umpire. And if you can't manage that, then baseball is not your sport. Maybe you need to go umpire tiddlywinks. If you know what I mean. Mark Brooks adding that we need a computerized commissioner. I tell you what, Mark, I'm throwing my hat into the ring. Angelo Gagliano for commissioner of baseball. So Brett Milletta, that's funny. We're going to put this on the big screen. Brett's a known troll on Facebook, people, so take it easy. He goes, I don't mean to steal James Krause's thunder, but I think Angel Hernandez would make Bob Merrick a bad pitcher. That's funny. You bring up Bob Merrick. Brett, Bob Merrick pitched for the New York Mets between the years of 76 and 78. He pitched to a 3.48 ERA. He had a win-loss record of 3-6, 2 saves with a 1.411 whip. Bob Merrick, thanks for your time. Adios, muchachos. Oh, my goodness. Mr. McGowan, yes, we should have a Rate My Umpire website. Linda Stein is in the house. Steve Costanzo, what's going on? I am Say Tuple. Here to stay till Angie's Angles is blowing it up with the new format. James Krause, I don't know. Clark just brought it up, but do we do it? I suppose we do it now. Repeat after me. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Ad nauseum. Get out of here, Rob Manfred. We don't need you and your silly rules and this and that. Rob Manfred, you're a disgrace to the game of baseball. Judge Mountain Landis is rolling in his grave from what you're doing, for God's sakes. And least but not last, we got the Trevor Bauer story. I'm going to take a moment. I got to gather myself here. By the way, tonight, I'm smoking a Perdomo Habana, sun-grown, one of my favorite cigars. My buddy Steve down in Florida, I turned him on to him. It's become his favorite. Sadly, the shop here is out of stock on Leaf by Oscar, which is now really taken over as my favorite. Leaf by Oscar, and I promised you that I would do an unveiling. Next week, I'm told we're going to have him in, so make sure you tune in next week to watch the unrolling of the Leaf by Oscar. So, breaking news on the Trevor Bauer front. His accuser has been indicted on felony fraud charges back in March. However, just today, breaking, the judge released, unsealed the records, unsealed the documents, stating that the grand jury indicted her, found her guilty of promoting and contributing to a felony fraud. Not only did she accuse erroneously, apparently, allegedly, of Trevor Bauer conducting sexual assault on her, but she accused him and another man of falsely impregnating her. Now, I don't know, it's a little hard to swallow maybe for some of you, but that's a serious offense as a man. If you're accused of making a woman pregnant with the intention of not doing so, and then having that be made public in this forum of public opinion, and then to be found that you in fact did not impregnate this woman, and the woman's name, and it needs to be said, is Dariadana Esamanu. And she shouldn't be able to hide behind any sealed project, any sealed papers or whatnot. She erroneously and fraudulently accused two men, not just Trevor Bauer, but two different men of impregnating her, when in fact it never happened. Bauer has steadfastly denied all accusations by her. I told you the judge released the findings today, although she was indicted back in March. And with this new breaking news, teams can be heard stampeding to go watch Trevor Bauer pitch. And we're going to bring you a new angle from Angie's Angles. We're going to do a writ. It's called Rumor Has It. R-H-I-T, Rumor Has It. R-H-I-T, we're going to use as the acronym. And I'm being told by some insiders that are in my circle that one Trevor Bauer within 2 weeks could be pitching for the Seattle Mariners. Stay tuned. We're going to see what happens there. So we're at the 850 mark. So we covered 3 topics. We covered the Ryan Garcia Super WBC lightweight, his fight against Haney Saturday night. We covered Angel Hernandez, and we covered the Trevor Bauer breaking story. Danny's Road to the Show, brought to you by DomScalaBaseball.com. Check out Dom Scala Baseball. If you got a kid in the tri-state area, make sure you sign them up for Dom Scala's baseball camp. Danny Gagliano is an alum. He attended Dom Scala's baseball camp for many years. Dom Scala speaks nothing highly of him, and we speak nothing highly about Dom Scala's camp. So Daniel Riddlers are rolling. They're 9-2 on the season. CJ Foreman flipped with one when Johnny Vandermeers did it June 11th and 15th in 1938. Johnny Vandermeers, for you baseball folks that are aware, threw back-to-back no-hitters. He pitched on the 11th, a no-hitter, and then came back in his start 4 days later. Funny, 4 days later, here in that Major League Baseball, not 5 days later, 4 days later, and he pitched another no-hitter, never to be done, nor will it ever be repeated in the history of baseball. So CJ Foreman gave up one hit in his second game after his first no-hitter, and just a tremendous effort by one CJ Foreman. Good job and congrats. As we stated, Danny's heating up. He went 2 for 3, 3 stolen bases, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored on Wednesday. On Tuesday, he went 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored, 1 stolen base. And on Tuesday, he hit a triple. And thankfully, I was there. I was there to record it. And I timed him from home to third. And he clocked in at 11.66 seconds. And it was a stand-up triple. So as he's approaching third base, he's pulling up. He's gliding into third base because that's how fast he ran the bases. There was no play at third. Byron Buxton, by the way, holds the record for the fastest home to third in Major League Baseball history. He ran it at 10.66 seconds. And so Danny's just a tad under that record, a Major League record. And Danny's 18 years old playing high school baseball on, not the best fields in the universe. So Danny's right there with the Major League level, if not there already. So kudos to Danny on that time. We want to approach Aroldis Chapman getting suspended for his actions in the game the other night against the New York Mets. Apparently, he said a couple key words that earned him a 2-game suspension. Aroldis Chapman, for you Skanky fans out there, and Terry, I know you're one of them, he was never well received by the teammates. He was always aloof. He was always doing odd, wanky things. And here's my problem with the suspension, though. He's a relief pitcher. And if he appeals it, he's allowed to pitch. So let's say, for argument's sake, that the Pittsburgh Pirates, thank you, had Danny clocked at 11.25. I appreciate that, Harry. Thank you. I wanted to be fair. I took it at the first step, and I took it at Mark Brooks coming in at 11.66 seconds. He goes, he'd barely make it to first. That's very funny, Mark. So his mom with the suspension, and he also got an undisclosed fine. So he comes and pitches his next 2 games while his suspension appealed. So deep as his game, he's going to say, okay, I'm going to take my suspension. Well, he really can't pitch days because just use him for 2 days. So it's really not a suspension. You're not hurting anybody. The only thing is you can't replace him on the roster with another pitcher. So you're going to be a guy short, a light in the bullpen. And that's just going to, perhaps limit who you use and how often you use that guy coming out of the bullpen. So I'm not really sure. I don't think the penalties really matching the crime, if you will. So before we get to the prayer circle, let me explain what we're doing here. Yeah, I've got the professional mic in front of me that you can see. We're working on a logo. We're going to work on a banner. We're going to put all the personal, Danny's Road to the Show at the end of the show. So perhaps when you log on right away, if you're a stranger, never seen Angie's Angles, we get right into the show. We're gonna broadcast things that are current. Yeah, and if something ticks me off, I'm gonna rant about that too. So we'll splice and dice and put the show together like that. But we're gonna try to do this and see where it goes. I've been watching. I've been prodded to watch a couple of podcasts, and I was watching this one, and I'm not going to degrade anybody. I'm not going to name the podcast. That's not what I do, right? But there's this one podcast that was recently picked up by the Dan Patrick Network, and we all know who Dan Patrick is, ex-ESPN analyst, broadcaster, whatever you want to call him. And apparently he's got a network of podcasts that he searches and gets people on there, iHeartRadio, et cetera, et cetera. So this one guy, he started up the podcast and he was picked up by Dan Patrick, and very monotone. Today on my show, we're going to talk about X, Y, and Z. No inflection in his voice, no animation, no rants, no nothing. I almost wanted to watch paint dry on the wall. So we're going to try to do this. We're going to try to get noticed. I'm trying not to lose the feel of the personal relationship I have with all of you. But like I said last week, I think I do owe it to you. I owe it to myself to get out there to become maybe not national right away, but regional would be nice. So, James Krause, I am very animated. I appreciate that, James. You're a funny guy. All right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go right into the podcast. Upon my opening, we're going to light the cigar. That's not going to go away. We're going to use the flamethrower, James McGowan, and we're going to see where this takes us. I wasn't nervous about tonight. I certainly had butterflies. And let me tell you something. And Clark, Harold, Mark, James, maybe you guys could all relate to this. I played a lot of baseball games in my life. A lot. And then I transitioned to softball. Less, as an older man, less intense, less important. But no matter what game I was playing, whether it was baseball or softball, I had butterflies every single game before the game started. But once I crossed that white line, butterflies are gone because I was confident in who I was and what I was capable of producing. And that's what I'm going to bring to this show. I'm confident in my baseball knowledge. I'm confident in the setup. We're going to tweak on some things. And yes, I will stay nasty, Mr. McGowan, if you know what I mean. All right, folks, we're at day 57 mark. And I'm very happy with the timing of this. The show's working out great tonight. I'm very happy. And let's go right into the prayer circle. Harold, Dawn Squid, we're hearing good updates on both your wife and your coworker. And we're still waiting for your friend Ed's test results. Scott Tobias, we're praying for your wife and your mom. Linda Stein, we always have your dad in our prayers and thoughts as he tackles his challenges. Mark Brooks, stay vertical, Mark. We're praying for your dad and yourself. Kevin Elliott, my good friend from Florida, as he faces his health challenges. We pray for you. The Krause family, as Aubrey beats and destroys that C word and keeps it in remission. We're praying for you guys. Martha, my coworker at Adelphi University, saw her today. She's looking great. Deb and Lee down in Maryland, we're praying for you. Fred, as you tackle and face your rotator cuff surgery. Ray Capers, as you're mending from your health scare and your challenges. Coach Courtney, your brother-in-law Calvin, and your sister Pat are constant in our prayers. Mr. McGowan, sir, we have your six, my friend, as you tackle that C word. And Mr. McGowan, I'm telling you, you're coming here, baby. Either you're coming here or I'm coming to you, and we're going to have some Irish whiskey, and we're going to have a cigar, even if it's a puff, if you know what I mean. My good friend from high school, Marianne Bello, as your mom faces her health challenges, we're praying for you guys in Las Vegas. And we're rounded out with Lonnie as you face some of your health challenges. Tonight, I want to acknowledge a special person who gives me the space here, who couldn't be nicer, who accommodates me every Thursday night. Mike Wiener, it was his birthday last night. We stopped by. We celebrated his birthday here at Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. And Mike, I haven't done it in a while, but you're deserving. So here it goes. Everybody join with me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mike. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mike. Many, many more. Double nickels he's celebrating. Harold wanted to tell us that Ed's test came back negative last week. So no news is good news. So we're happy to hear this. We're going to keep it in our prayers. This has been Angie's Angles, ending promptly at 9 p.m. Coming to you live from Smoke Therapy. I hope you like the new format. I welcome all comments, feedback, etc., etc. Good night. God bless. I love you.